This is Transformers 4 Age of Extinction movie review. Now, I'm not in my normal review spot, as you can see. And if you've seen my videos, most of my videos, you can probably guess where this video is headed. Alright, how do I even begin? You know, ever since I found out Michael Bay and Ehren Krueger were going to be on board again to do the fourth installment, I thought it was going to be a whole new team, but it wasn't. So Michael Bay decided to stick around, and Ehren Krueger wrote it again, yet again, the same Dark of the Moon crew, because Paramount wants to make the hundreds of millions of dollars they made with Dark of the Moon, and they probably will with this movie. And I'll explain later. I had very little expectations of this movie because if you've watched my video review of Dark of the Moon, you know why, but I had very, very little expectations with regard to the plot, story, dialogue, elements, basic elements of film, with the certain expectations that it was going to have some real nice action and special effects. Unfortunately, even with my low expectations, the movie still didn't meet my expectations. My expectations were like, from 1 to 10, I was expecting the movie to be a 5. It still did not meet my expectations. I'm sorry to say it. And for the sake of free speech and having an opinion, I will have an opinion on this movie, and I will not turn off the comments on this video. So I will respect your opinion if you will respect my opinion, and I hope you will understand if I don't reply to many of the comments posted on this video. So all right. Let's start with the story. Okay, the trailer was a little bit misleading, but a little bit. It's the premise of the story starts. The movie begins with a scene millions of years ago, 65 billions of years ago, where the age of the dinosaurs, there was terraforming or cyberforming activities that were happening, and it foreshadows, or it preludes the theory that they had that dinosaurs became extinct because of cyberforming. So anyway, the whole movie begins by letting the audience know that it was 10 years after the Chicago incident, 10 years after Dark of the Moon. The Autobots are no longer needed, and the government, the US government, is sort of trying to make the world believe that Transformers are evil, and they're trying to let people report alien activities, that these are not friends. We're hunting down because they are Decepticons, and the government has black ops hunting down Decepticons. That's what they want the people to think, when in fact they're really hunting down Autobots. Now they're hunting down Autobots because they are this black ops group is in leagues with a corporation who is led by an eccentric inventor played by Stanley Tucci. The black ops is led by the character of Kelsey Grammer, who retired from the CIA but is secretly working for the CIA, or for this company that Stanley Tucci has, KSI, and they are hunting down Autobots for Stanley Tucci's company to use. They're hunting down first Decepticon parts. When they ran out of Decepticon parts, they needed more. Transformers parts for the company to use, so that they started hunting down Autobots, and then made people believe they were hunting down Decepticons. So Stanley Tucci's company, the KSI corporation, was an innovative company that was designing Transformers with the intent of building an army for the US government of Transformers, controllable Transformers. On the subplot, the bigger plot beneath this surface plot is that Kelsey Grammer's character was actually one of the bigger reasons he was hunting down the Autobots was really for a bounty hunter, Lockdown, which we all know in the trailer. Lockdown needed to complete his set. He was apparently looking for the Silver Knights, or the Knights, the Cybertronian Knights, whatever. The creators of the Transformers hired Lockdown such that they wanted to recall all the Silver Knights. The 4 Dinobots, Grimlock, Scorn, Slug, and Strafe, plus one more Silver Knight, Optimus Prime. So, Lockdown was tasked to do that, and the deal was, if Kelsey Grammer's group, the Black Ops group, brought Optimus Prime to him, he would in turn give them the seed, which is the cyber terraforming bomb, which Stanley Tucci's company thought would be necessary to create more of the metal, the Transformers metal, or the transformium that they need to produce the Transformers. So it was a win-win for both of them. Lockdown would get Optimus Prime, Kelsey Grammer would be rid of Transformers on the planet, and Stanley Tucci would have all the Transformers raw materials he would need to manufacture Transformers. So the plot would have been okay. Then they decided to introduce another plot, that since Stanley Tucci's prototypes were basically Decepticons and later on Autobots, they retained one character from Dark of the Moon, Brain. He was doing all the translating from Cybertron to humans to translate the technology. They were actually building controllable Transformers using Decepticon parts, namely Megatron. Apparently, Megatron's psyche was not dead. It was literally impossible to kill this guy. They used a lot of his parts to form Galvatron. And apparently, Megatron still lived. His mind lived and infected Galvatron, who in turn infected the rest of the prototypes. So you've got this bounty hunter who needs Optimus Prime, giving them the seed. So that already is a threat. The bounty hunter is a threat to the Autobots, and him giving the seed is a threat to mankind, humanity. That's a big plot. Then they have a subplot of Megatron's return in the form of Galvatron, which I feel they did not need that. It was nice, but it was just too crowded. So, okay, I gave it a shot. Okay, maybe it's a nice way to create a segue into Transformers 5. You have Galvatron, you have Megatron alive, and they'll have they'll have Galvatron again, Megatron yet again, Voldemort yet again. It sounded like that. Rise of it's Voldemort all over again. In Transformers 5, they'll probably do that. So, okay, fine. I let it go. You'll have so many plots. Okay. But the real big enemy here, as what the movie's trying to say, is that it's the humans. The humans' greed, the humans' ambition, that is the real enemy. And they want to control themselves. They want to control their planet. They got too ambitious, and they ended up in the shit crapper. That's really the story. And all that human drama, the family of Cade Yeager, his daughters, the boyfriend, which he hated at first, which obviously he'll love in the end, the whole human drama, and then these humans trying to take over, get rid of Transformers on their planet, and then just take the planet using Transformers technology. That's all intertwined beneath this three conflict plot. You got a conflict of Lockdown, you got a conflict of Megatron, and you got the bad humans conflict. So it's a whole hodgepodge of conflict, of plots and subplots and all the drama and unnecessary comedy in between. And obviously, the Autobots are going to win. They're going to defeat Lockdown. Megatron is going to escape, or Galvatron's going to escape. They're going to beat the humans, and all's well that ends well, right? Well, yeah, that's exactly what happened. But I didn't feel great after the movie. The movie had first, I'm going to be nitpicking here. First of all, the plot was so much. It was going on all over the place. editing was horrendous. So many scenes cut out that just to, like what I said in my Dark of the Moon review, small bits of transitionary scenes that should have been there to transition the plot, to transition the story was not present. They cut it out. The whole movie felt like, yet again, like Dark of the Moon. It was bad plot, bad story, bad dialogue, phenomenal acting, fantastic acting. But same great action and special effects. They're gonna make money out of the special effects and action. But same old Dark of the Moon crap. The action scenes were. It's like when you watch the movie, you think that the movie was all about action scenes. That they built and shot and created all the action scenes and sort of tried to intersperse all that plot. Like when Stanley Tucci's character realized that he was being controlled by Megatron, by Galvatron, it was just like it was like a thing that just sprouted up. It wasn't even foreshadowed. It wasn't. Oh my goodness, there was very little foreshadowing. There was like, it seems like the writer and producers of this film have no idea about the elements of film. I know you're gonna bash me. I'm gonna have my conclusion later. Just wait for my conclusion, okay? There was very little transformation. That's one big gripe I have. We get to see Optimus Prime transform, okay, but more of the old banged up truck rather than the new truck. The new truck we got to see once, twice. Very, very few transformation. Hound, I didn't even get to see Hound transform. Crosshairs, not a single transform. I didn't see him transform. Drift, I saw him transform to a helicopter, but I never saw him transform to the Bugatti. Bumblebee does transform. You get to see him once or twice. You see Lockdown transform once. They're scrimped on the transformation process, which is the core of why these Transformers look so freaking awesome. And instead, they had a ton of that morphing thing that from car morphs into the robot, like pixelates and then turns into a robot. I get it that they're trying to do that as a new gimmick because of the metal thing, like in the trailer, that the metal morphs into anything. Yes, but you've got to understand, Mr. Bay. This is not Morphormers. This is Transformers. You have to see how the parts mechanize and transform, not morph into that. No, I know you're a lot of Michael Bay fans out there, and I'm sorry to hurt or bust your ego, but it's not the Transformers we know. Okay? So that's the thing. The dialogue. Oh, God. Horrible dialogue. It was just like all over the place. I know the characters just really tried to work and make the best of it, but it was horrible. And I keep, throughout this whole Transformers movies, and I keep bashing Michael Bay, when in fact the one I should be bashing is Ehren Krueger. The girl should be fired. I mean, if they can't fire Michael Bay because Michael Bay brings the action, they should fire Ehren Krueger. Oh my God, horrible writing. They should get somebody else. I mean, okay, fine. Orsi and Roberto Orsi and Alex Kurtzman, I thought they were okay. Their writing was the shallowest writing I know, if you watch Hawaii Five-0, but they were a heck of a lot better and a lot more meaningful writers than Ehren Krueger. So I'm sorry, their writing sucks. Okay, let's get to the characters, the Autobots. Let's talk about the characters. The human characters were essentially okay. Kelsey Grammer's character, okay. The Savoy, the guy played by TJ, not TJ, but some other dude I forgot. But the Black Ops guy and Kelsey Grammer's character were okay, well done, well executed. Stanley Tucci's character, it was sort of a combination of John Turturro's character and John Malkovich's character. It was one time he was very eccentric, serious, and so strong. Then the next half of the movie, he was like this cowering comedic relief that was completely out of place. The Jaeger family, they had to kill off Jaeger's assistant because it would have been too crowded in the car, literally. And he was annoying, so I'm glad they killed him. But they didn't have to kill him. Halfway through the movie, that guy, the assistant, dies. So you get Nicola Peltz as his daughter. Okay, but her acting's not 100% convincing. Still feels a little bit artificial. The boyfriend, Shane, he's okay. He's great. Mark Wahlberg, amazing. He's probably my favorite human character out of them all. The Mark Yeager's character, Mark Wahlberg's character, Yeager. He's probably the best character out there. The only problem I have with that character is that he's supposed to be an inventor, scientist, super genius, but he looks like a Navy SEAL or a Marine. Oh, nothing against those. I mean, it's completely possible. Absolutely. If you used to be a former soldier, you change fields into the field of physics and robotics, it's totally possible. You can literally do that. I doubt that. I don't doubt that. Honestly, I don't. I doubt that not. That's what I was going to say. But, it never crossed my mind that was possible. It never crossed my mind that was impossible. So even if you're a soldier, you can obviously be a super genius in transfer field. It's just that it's very hard to suspend disbelief when you see the dialogue is the dialogue of a super genius scientist, and then if you're busy doing all that robotics things in your barn, you barely have time to eat. The character Mark Wahlberg looks like he's been working out in the gym like 3 hours a day. So there's just that disconnect. You know what I'm saying? With the way Mark Wahlberg looks and his character. So nothing against Mark Wahlberg. Again, as I said, he's my favorite, absolute favorite in this movie. And I think he was cast well enough, but I wished he could have lost a few more pounds, a few more of his muscle weight. But I guess he couldn't do that because he has other commitments. But he just looks so much like a trooper soldier than a scientist. Anyway, but that's just me. Nothing against that. It's not being racist or anything like that. Who else? Li Bingbing. Great, but I think her character was forced. They had to do it because they had to feature China. Okay, I sort of accepted it. The other scientist, female scientist, was British. Okay, yeah, I thought she was okay. The sidekick to okay. But all in all, I thought the characters were very weak. Character development was forced, if at all, very limited. Okay, let's talk about the Autobots. The Autobots were a bunch of unlovable characters. I could not find any way to like these Autobots. They were bickering. They were okay, fine. They had a taste of war. They're being hunted down. They're close to extinction and whatnot. They're under duress. But the Autobots we know would not buckle down. They would not be bickering and fighting. It's like grown up Skids and Mudflap. That's how I felt. I absolutely hated Hound. Oh my god, I love John Goodman, but his character was just annoying. Bumblebee, oh my goodness. There was a scene where he freaked out because they tried to copy him. Stinger was supposed to be a better version of Bumblebee. That's what the humans were trying to build. And he freaked out. And he's Bumblebee? He does not freak out. He's like a ninja. So I'm like, who else? The only Crosshairs. Oh, that guy is annoying. Absolutely annoying. And I still hate the fact that the car parts are flowing in the wind. When he transforms into robot mode, the car parts, the parts of the hood, the windshield and all that, they sort of become his trench coat. And they flow in the wind. What? TF. Anyway. And then let's go to Drift. Drift was probably the only likable Autobot. It's just that his character is so small. And I never saw him transform into the Bugatti. What the hell? I mean, he was Japanese. I mean, aside from the fact that they were annoying characters, they were so human. It's like they put human minds into Cybertronians. It's obvious. Ehren Krueger does not know, does not understand what Transformers are. I mean, they talk about ammo and fuel. Transformers don't use ammo and fuel. They use energon. Like the gun that Cade Yeager was able to pick up a gun on top of the top when he went into lockdown ship. Not to spoiler. Uh, that's the kind of weapons they should have. Laser weapons. I mean, Star Wars had better weapons than these guys here in this movie. So they were so human. And Drift was like a samurai. He was saying haikus. He was, okay, fine. I get that sword slashing thing. Okay, fine. I can do that. He was meditating and saying haikus. I think they went way too much with that haiku thing. Unbelievable. They used Ken Watanabe because he's Japanese. Fantastic. That guy's brilliant. I absolutely love him. But the whole characterization of human Cybertronians, it's just beyond me how they can do that. It's obvious they have no idea what the Transformers are. Okay, fine. Some of the Transformers in the 80s, they had human qualities, but not to this extent. Okay? I get it. They're human creation. They're human fiction. Of course they're going to have human traits. Agreed. Human qualities, human spirit, human nobility. Yes, but the human culture? Oh my god. I mean, okay, Cup did smoke an Energon cigar, fine. I suppose that was an Energon cigar that Hound was doing, but he was full of ammo. Come on. He was like Rambo. He should... Energon. Laser. Anyway. And now let's go to Optimus Prime. Oh, yeah, okay. Now, before we go to Optimus Prime, let me talk about one other character. Two other characters, Lockdown and Megatron. Megatron turning into Galvatron, he was probably the only one who was... Him and Lockdown were probably the only ones in character. In perfect character. Megatron being resurrected as Galvatron, that's great. Fantastic. I just feel they didn't need to do that, but they did. So he was in great character, fine. Lockdown, the bounty hunter, yes, great characterization. Agreed, he was great. You know, but in my opinion, they should have just kept Lockdown as the main baddie. The Megatron character should have been like, they could have just said that the prototypes were becoming bad, but they didn't reveal that it was Megatron doing it. They're just, I mean, it might have been detrimental to the plot. Because that was the impetus that caused Stanley Tucci's character to become good, and side with the Autobots. So, okay. But they could have just said that they're made of Decepticons, and they're becoming like Decepticons. That would have been a smoother transition into Transformers 5 Rise. Possibly should have been Galvatron the main baddie. And they should have revealed the Megatron into Galvatron in Transformers 5. They could have done that. But they didn't. So anyway, but both were in great characters. Okay, now we go to Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime, again, when I saw Dark of the Moon, it just felt like how Superman in Man of Steel was ruined for me. I mean, Snyder and the writers ruined Superman for me in Man of Steel. That's why I'm hating that movie so much. Because I loved Superman when I was a kid, and they completely bastardized and ruined him. The same is true with Optimus Prime, and I hate to admit it, but they screwed up Optimus Prime. I get it. He's been through war. He's been set up by humans. They've been hunting down the Autobots, and he has every right to be angry. Any regular person, any regular being would do what Optimus did in the movie, take revenge and hate the humans. But that's Optimus Prime. Optimus would never do that. He represents something bigger than revenge, something more noble. He has compassion. He has love. He would never give up on the humans. In the end of the movie, he tries to redeem himself by saying that the humans should be protected and whatnot. But throughout the whole movie, he hated the humans. I mean, if Optimus they portrayed him as smart as he was, he would have realized that he was set up. Humans could never do this to him, and they should never stop loving humans. Just like the X-Men. The X-Men, Professor Xavier never hated the humans, despite what they did to mutants. That's who Optimus Prime should be. He is all the good in us, the good in everybody. And they turned him into just a regular general colonel who just wants to take revenge. They turned him into a soldier who got hit and he wants to hit back. Okay, they turned him into the U.S. military. He's not that. He is so much more than a soldier. He is Optimus Prime, just like who Superman is. And I hated that they changed that. And Ehren Krueger's dialogue and script for Optimus Prime has a lot of "I'll kill you, I'll kill you, I'll kill you, die, kill, die." I mean, he's just Megatron in a good suit, in a Autobot uniform, and I'm sick of that. And I'm sick of making Optimus kill. And look, you can kill in self-defense. You can shoot. Optimus Prime killed a bunch of robots. Okay. He killed a human. He killed the bad human, Kelsey Grammer's character. I mean, he had no choice. He had to blast him, but he could have just maimed him. And this was a killing machine. It feels like Optimus Prime fell into a deep dark hole and never came out. And he's been jaded ever since. That's not the Optimus Prime, you know. Any other Autobot, any other being, any other person would react like how he did because of what he's been through. But certainly not the Optimus Prime we know. He's full of compassion. He doesn't care, even if humans are persecuting the Autobots. He would never give up on the humans. He would figure out that he was being set up, that only a few humans are bad and the rest are good and they're worth saving. It never came across as that. Ehren Krueger did a crappy job on the characterization of Optimus Prime, and you know, Michael Bay is an action film director, and given the raw material crap story that he has no choice but to tell it in his own craptastic way, and it's just very frustrating. And in the end, they defeat everybody. So the bad humans are gone. The bad guys die. The bad humans die. The bad robots die, except Galvatron. Lockdown and his army dies. They all die. Galvatron escapes. And then Optimus Prime decides, figures out that what Lockdown said to him, that they were created. And the creators want them back. What he does is apparently reveals that he has rocket boosters. He tells everybody, the Autobots, you must protect the humans, but I'm going to go away. I'm going to find these creators and I'm going to kill them. Something like that. Or he blasts off into space like a rocket. I didn't know Optimus Prime had rocket boosters on his feet. So he launches like a rocket, goes into space and says, creators, whoever you are, I'm coming for you. Because he's returning the seed or the cyberforming bomb to them. And that's not the Optimus Prime. Again, we know. Sorry to belabor the point. Another thing is, that is an allegorical statement saying that whoever created you, okay, somebody created you, you can get back at that creator for giving you this crap life you have and get back to them and kill them. Something like that. Could just be my imagination, but that's what I'm getting from that scene. And again, there's so many things so many dialogues, so many action sequences that I was like, during the movie, I was like, what the hell is the point of this scene? What the hell is the point of this action? Nicola Pelt, there were some scenes she was like, Bumblebee, and Bumblebee crashes down with suit for no apparent reason. This is one of the funniest scenes. Is like, they were trying to escape, they're trying to regroup. They're Optimus Prime with the Dinobots already. He recruited I'll tell you my comments about that. He recruited the Dinobots, and then he goes out and tries to rescue everybody. They're falling back, and they got the humans. Okay, the Autobot says, "Okay, humans, come with us." And then the first thing they do, let's escape. Take this car. Okay, fine. They needed to show off Shane, the boyfriend's driving abilities. Okay, I get that. But the Autobots transform. All of them transform into cars. Optimus transforms into a truck. Why didn't they just say, get on us? They had to suggest, okay, use this car. This beaten up truck that had debris falling on it. Use it. Oh my God. That was so stupid. And I guess the reason for that is because they had to drive that truck backwards. Michael Bay wanted to drive that truck backwards from all the falling debris because Lockdown was sucking in metal and then throwing it back, and it was chaos, pandemonium. They had to drive that truck backwards. I don't think General Motors or any of the car manufacturers agreed to let Michael Bay drive the C7, the Camaro, the Lamborghini, whatever, the cars backwards. And I think that was their way out. They needed to get the humans in another car to transport the bomb. Oh my god. It was so stupid. The action was great. If the Autobots did not transform into cars in the first place. I mean, it's so stupid. You transform into a car and you tell the humans to go, oh, go take that car. Anyway, the other also thing is how the Dinobots came to be on the side of Optimus Prime. So, Optimus Prime escapes with the Autobots from Lockdown's ship. Lockdown is off in deep space. And Lockdown comes back and tries to get Optimus Prime. Then the ship that they're using, the escape pod, the escape ship they got from Lockdown, sort of crash lands into a forbidden forest or a grove, whatever. And they discover, and then they discover that on that ship, that's the treasure trove ship of Lockdown, and it has the captured knights. So they liberate. Optimus Prime liberates the knights, and apparently, they were formed. These legendary fighters were formed during the terraforming or the cyberforming of Earth 65 billion years ago, and that's why they had dinosaur alt modes. So they transformed to dinosaurs, and Optimus Prime gives them a deal. I'm going to set you guys free if you help us. And none of them talk, which is fine. And they all start fighting Optimus Prime. Grimlock in particular starts fighting Optimus Prime, which is great. That's canon G1. Optimus and Grimlock do fight, and then Grimlock finally realizes who Optimus is and what he stands for, and does give him respect. And the reason Grimlock sides with the Autobots was because Grimlock in G1 felt that Optimus was a better leader that compared to him, that he was far superior as a being than him. That's why he joins. Now in this movie, Optimus Prime coerces the Dinobots to join. It's like he blackmails him. He beats up this guy, Grimlock, puts the sword, one of the swords he stole from Lockdown ship, and puts it on his neck. Help me save my family, or you die. Oh my god, that screams that screams Decepticon. I mean, okay, fine, it's for a noble cause, but I'm gonna kill you, Grimlock, if you don't help me save my family. Oh my god. Optimus should evoke heroism, should evoke something in the Dinobots to help them, to ask them to help Optimus Prime and the Autobots save the humans, save everybody. He should evoke something good in them so that they would help them. Not blackmail them and saying, I'll kill you if you don't help me. That was so stupid. I literally just got my chips and just started eating. I mean, I just picked up my chocolate sticks and whatever and just, started eating. I just didn't want to pay attention to the movie anymore. It was so stupid. Anyway, lots of nitpicking things, and there was even a romantic sexual tension between the character of Lee Bingbing and Stanley Tucci. But it was okay, but it was a lot of unnecessary things. Like I said, this was just a action special effect demo reel yet again, just like Dark of the Moon, where they squeezed in the plot. And they're hoping that the crappy plot combined with fantastic action scenes and special effects are going to make millions. Well, people are still going to watch this movie. People are still going to enjoy it, I'm sure, and they're going to make millions. So, who cares really, right? Now, Michael Bay said the best way to watch this movie is through the IMAX 3D technology, or a good sound surround theater. Well, if you ask me, the best way to enjoy this movie is to leave your brain at home, lock it up in a safe, and just enjoy the ride. It's a moronic film, filled with phenomenal special effects and action scenes that will blow your mind away, sprinkled with a crappy plot, disjointed story, and phenomenal acting. Unbelievable acting. I am so impressed. The characters were great. The actors were great. Voice acting was great. They had to work with the crap that they were given, and they did it well. So for me, I was expecting this movie to be a 5 out of 10. I was hoping Michael Bay would redeem himself a little bit from Dark of the Moon, and I would come out of this movie feeling good. I left the movie not feeling great. It was not a feel-good movie. lots of disjointedness. I felt that the Transformers I grew up with had been bastardized and violated. I'm giving this movie a 2 out of 10. I'm sorry. I'd like to give it a 3, but it pains me. It hurts me to give it a 2 out of. Okay, I'll give it a 3. A 3 out of 10. I was hoping to give it a 5, but it's a 3 out of 10 for me. I wouldn't be surprised if this would be rotten in Rotten Tomatoes and it would be panned by a lot of reviewers. So there you go, folks. Not to burst anybody's bubble or anything like that. Go see the film, but lock your brain in a safe back home. Even, yeah. There was just a few, last point, there are a few moments where it was emotionally engaging, which was lacking in Dark of the Moon. Dark of the Moon, they used robots to evoke catharsis, to evoke that tear-jerking moments, to have tear-jerking moments and evoke some kind of emotional connect. They were using the robots. This time they used humans, and there was that one moment wherein Cade Yeager wanted to help Optimus Prime. I think it was so stupid. They just wanted more action, but Nicola Peltz was acting really well and trying to stop his father from committing apparent suicide by helping Optimus Prime, and it was great. It was a very touching moment that Yeager sort of accepted the boyfriend, and he wanted to help Optimus Prime because Optimus Prime helped them, and that was very moving. A little bit moving for me. That was one scene, and it was great. All right, okay. I'm sorry. And I know you're going to hate me in the comments. I probably won't be answering as many comments anymore. But I will not turn off the comments accessibility for this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video, despite whatever I said. This has been the Transformers 4 Age of Extinction movie review. Thanks for watching.